The old Blackwood Library stood quietly at the edge of town. It was a big old building covered with green ivy, full of old books and stories. Zain was a historian who loved history and wanted to feel close to the past. One day, he got permission to spend a whole night inside the library. He was excited to be surrounded by so many books and hoped to find inspiration like the scholars who came before him. After the librarian locked the heavy wooden doors, Zain felt a rush of excitement. He was alone with thousands of books. He sat down in a worn-out leather chair and opened a big book about ancient Egypt. The pages smelled like old paper and dust. Suddenly, the room around him seemed to change. The air became hot and dry, like a desert. When Zain opened his eyes, he was standing in front of the huge Sphinx. The sun was setting, painting the sky with bright orange and red colors. The walls glowed softly with strange pictures and symbols, telling stories of old Egyptian gods and kings. He could hear the sounds of workers building the pyramids far away. Surprised and overwhelmed, Zain quickly closed the book. The desert disappeared, and he was back in the quiet library. His heart was beating fast. He tried to tell himself it was just a dream, but he could still smell the dry sand and hear the quiet voices of the past. Curious, he picked up another book about Elizabethan England. As he read, the library changed again. This time, he was in a busy London market, smelling roses and coal fires. He even saw Shakespeare writing a play. Everything felt so real. Zain kept traveling through time by reading different books. He saw famous battles, great artists, explorers, and important moments in history. Each place was full of sounds, smells, and feelings that made him feel like he really was there. But after a while, all the traveling made Zain tired and confused. He started to forget who he really was. The lines between his real life and the stories he experienced became blurry. He was not just Zain the historian anymore. He was pieces of many different lives. He wanted to find himself again, so he picked up one last book, a simple journal titled My Life. It was his own diary that he had left at home earlier. Slowly, the world around him began to change, but this time it was different. Instead of taking him to faraway places, the book took him inside his own memories. Zain saw happy moments from his childhood, his family, and his friends. He remembered the quiet joy of walking in the woods, the pride of finishing a research paper, and the warmth of a loving smile. These simple moments felt special. When the library came back, it felt peaceful and calm. It was no longer a door to faraway times, but a quiet place for thinking and remembering. Zain closed his diary and felt calm inside. If you could open a book and live inside it, which one would you choose? Tell us in comment section. As the first light of morning filled the librarian came back. Zain smiled, feeling both tired and happy. He had traveled through many centuries and places, but the most important journey was learning to appreciate his own life and time. Zain left the Blackwood Library that morning as a changed man. He was still a historian, but now he understood that exploring new things is important, yes, but knowing and loving your own life is even more important. Moral of the story: it's great to explore new experiences and learn about the world, but it's just as important to value your own life and the moments you live every day. True happiness comes from within yourself.